I don't play many video games anymore, but everybody who's played video games has had the experience of playing a level in a game or playing a boss where it just seems so hard to beat that boss. Like, you've been playing it for hours and you just can't seem to get through this boss. Like, he just keeps killing you right at the final second, and you try jumping over the fireball, then sliding under the fireball, and then he hits you with the third fireball, and it's like, damn it, I just don't know what to do to beat this boss. And then finally, because you keep your head down, you keep working at it, you finally figure out how to beat that boss. Oh, if I just jump over the first fireball, I don't slide into the second one, I jump over that one, and then I slide under the third one, then I jump on the boss's head. Boom, I beat the boss. And now that you know that, now you know how to beat him, you can basically do it every single time effortlessly. It's like that boss that once was so hard to beat is just like so easy. You can just like chill and just like talk to your friends while you beat the boss. And it's literally the exact same thing with your clothing brand. Every single level that I've grown through, whether it was making $1,000 a month, then making $10,000 a month, then $20,000, $30,000 a month. Every single level that I've gotten to and have been striving to get to the next one, I've had this moment where I go, this is so hard. Like, how do I actually get my brand to that next point? And then once I figure it out, once I know how to do it, it's repeatable and I can just basically do it every single time. And that level just doesn't seem as daunting, and it's just like the easiest thing in the world. And so in this video here, I'm going to share with you my personal experiences taking my brand through each of the levels, and how every single level that I was trying to get through required some new strategy, some new way of thinking, and just basically figuring out the way to beat the level. And I think that this is going to be extremely eye-opening for those clothing brand owners that are stuck. They can't seem to get to the next level that they're trying to get to. Here it is. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd. BrandCrowd's a logo maker tool. You type in the name of the logo that you want to have made, smack that enter button. Thousands of logos will come up. You choose the logo that you like. You can edit, refine that logo as long as you want for free until it's perfect. This is a Hundo P design I had made for my own clothing brand using BrandCrowd. If you're interested, head over to brandcrowd.com/apparel success and you can get 66% off at checkout. One of the big issues with new clothing brands is they think that if they just put their head down and they just work for years, that they're eventually going to be a multi-million-dollar brand eventually. And that's really not the way that it works. That's the way that it works to get like through the first or second level of the video game. But the way that this works generally is the more that you go up in levels with your brand, the more and more you get away from the grunt work and just like the head down, just mindless work. And the more and more you actually have to start working smarter rather than harder. And so one of the things that I've come to realize is that it's less about the hard work and it's more about the problem solving and figuring out the how. Like figuring out how exactly you're going to get through that boss. So I want to share my experience with this. 7 years ago when I started up my clothing brand, level 1, getting through the first level was getting my first 100 customers for my clothing brand from people that I didn't know personally. Having people order my brand that don't have some biased reason to support me and make me feel good and make me feel like I'm supported. Like having 100 customers from people that I don't know personally. And at the time, this seemed like a really hard thing to do. Like that was level 1 and you had to get through it. And the way that I got through that level was I set up my brand well enough so that there were no mistakes on the website. I had a clear sort of brand identity. It wasn't perfect, but people could kind of get on board with what the brand was about. On social media, on Instagram, I would make my posts on a regular basis, but even that wasn't really enough to get past level 1. Because at the time, your posts, when you started up a new account, they weren't really getting out there. I realized I had to engage with people. So on Instagram, I actually was liking people's posts and commenting on people's posts, like saying, hey, nice fish, because my brand represents rural Canada, so a lot of people do fishing, and say like, hey, nice fish, you know, great catch, bud, and just say stuff like that. And in the DMs, be like, hey, if you're interested, here's a 10% off promo code. Thanks. That's it. And I figured out that by doing that, by building a bit of a community, I actually was getting orders from people that didn't know me personally. Like they'd go to my site and they'd buy. And eventually I got my first 100 customers and I beat level 1. And once I did that, I realized, okay, this is repeatable. I can just do this over and over again. And that's basically how I got through level 1. And then it's like, well, how do I get to level 2? Well, level 2 might be getting $5,000 a month regularly for your brand. How do I get my brand to the point where it's making $5,000 a month in sales every single month? Well, you figure out that if you're just engaging with people, you can get a few orders, but that might not be enough. So maybe if I do a giveaway contest once a month or twice a month on my account, then I'm going to be able to get people tagging their friends. And when people are tagging their friends in a giveaway, it really is a better vibe than if I'm just going after them myself constantly. And so I introduced giveaway contests. And giveaway contests would drum up a lot of interest from friends tagging their friends. And all of a sudden, we had way more orders coming in on our website. And we'd get to about $5,000, $8,000 in a month for our brand. And that's how we beat level 2. It was like doing all of the engagement stuff and introducing these giveaways. That was the unlock. And now that we did that, every month I can post a giveaway. I can engage with my audience on Instagram proactively, just finding people in hashtags, liking their posts, commenting on them from my brand's account. They'll find the website and they'll buy. And that's basically how we got through level 2. Level 3 then is like, well, how do you get up to $10,000 in a month? The giveaway contests are great, but maybe it doesn't drum up enough sales that you can get to $10K a month regularly. And the engagement's great, but maybe it's not getting you up to that point. So maybe we should introduce some retargeting ads like Facebook ads and just spend like $10 or $20 a day on ads that's just retargeting all of this engagement that we're getting. And by doing that, we're just getting in front of our audience just a little bit more frequently. And by getting in front of our audience just a little bit more frequently, getting a little bit more traffic to the site, boom, you beat level 3. You figure out that, hey, if I run retargeting ads, really simple, cheap retargeting ads, run these giveaway contests once or twice a month, and engage with my audience, boom, now we're at $10K a month. This is kind of funny, but I remember when we hit our first $13,000 a month being like, oh my God, this is a huge deal. Like we just hit $13,000 in a month. Because before that, our best month was like $6,000 or $7,000 and we jumped straight to 13 and it was like this huge deal. And it seemed like something that was so far out of reach when we were at $6,000 a month. But once you hit it, you realize, oh, that's all that we had to do was just like change this thing up and introduce some retargeting ads and we can just get there. And then it's like, well, what's level 4? Getting to $20,000 a month. Maybe we have to get some influencers and celebrities to support our brand and post those on social media and on our website, just to ease the friction that people might be feeling for new visitors coming to our brand. Like, why should I buy from these people? Who are they? Are they credible? Are they trustworthy? And when you get those celebrities and influencers on your website, on your social media, it really just builds that trust a lot faster. And it gets people to realize that your brand is actually pretty sick pretty quickly. And so that's, one of the unlocks that we use to get to $20,000 a month. And email marketing. What I'm trying to show you here is that there's different levels, and every level basically has a problem to be solved. What is it that I have to do that I wasn't doing before to get the brand to this level? And this is going to require either rethinking your old strategies or introducing new strategies on top of it. Those are basically like your only 2 options. And if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. So, getting to $40,000 a month might be actually figuring out your ads and getting your ads to work a little bit better and be a little bit more, specific or a little bit better at converting. Or it might be figuring out how to make your posts go viral more consistently on, say, TikTok or Instagram Reels. Like getting to $70,000 in a month was basically, increasing our ad spend while at the same time making sure that our profits and our return is really, really good on those ads. And so there's new problems to be solved at every level. And the higher you go up in these levels, the less it's about just putting your head down and working, and the more it's about taking a step back, writing out the problem, and trying to solve it. If you're just putting your head down and you're not thinking about it, you're basically just going to be like a hamster on a wheel, just like spinning its wheels in place. Believe it or not, nobody tells you this, but one of the best ways to work on your brand is to take a step back from all of the day-to-day stuff that you're doing, get out a piece of paper and write out the problem that you're trying to solve. Like if you're trying to get your first 100 customers from people that you don't know, say 100 customers from people that I don't know, how do I solve this problem? How do I get past this boss? How do I beat this level? I think that this is such a rare message to share because most people don't think about this in terms of problem solving and using their smarts. They think about it in terms of work ethic, hustle, just getting your brand, like pushing your brand out there, and they don't ever think about it from the strategy perspective. So just like in a video game, find the way to beat the boss. It's not just about your skill, it's about figuring out the strategy to beat the boss. And it's just like that for your clothing brand as well. Find out the way to beat the level. How are you going to do it? Write out the problem, solve the problem, and once you do it once, you're going to be able to do it again and again, basically for the rest of your life. And once you solve a problem, it's on to the next one. These problems are infinite. It always just keeps getting higher and higher in levels, and there's an infinite amount of levels to get through. And so, wherever you're at, it's cool. It's about enjoying the process of trying to beat the game. That's what it's all about. That's why we play the video games in general. It's not to get to the end and say, oh, I beat it. It's to enjoy the whole process of beating the levels. I hope this video helps you level up your clothing brand 10 times faster. Peace. My clothing brand marketing program is 50% off until the end of the year, and this is the last sale that I'm ever going to have. I break down real conversations I've had with celebrities and influencers to land endorsements for my own brand. I show you how to grow a real following on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube from scratch. And I show you how to set up, structure, and scale up Facebook ads and TikTok ads for your clothing brand. If you're interested, you can learn more about what's inside at clothingbrandmarketing.com, and I hope to see you inside.